This is a piece of work that I began maybe 10 or 12 years ago. I guess I finished in about 2001. It's a work really about time and architecture, and perhaps about the effect of time on that architecture. I showed these works, a few of them, a handful of them, when they were first finished, I guess, back in 2001, before they'd really aged. And when I did, they felt to me like they were fakes, like they were sort of unfinished. They weren't distressed sufficiently. The sensation of time and history that comes with that was incomplete. They were too new. So I determined to let them rest, to let age take its course on them, and dig them up again, or take them out of storage sort of maybe 10 years later, to see, whether they'd become the authentic objects that I'd hoped they were in the beginning. So this was about a year ago that I decided to do that, and I took them out. They had aged significantly. Of the original 40, 3 were too badly damaged to really use, so there were 37 left, and I think that's pretty good. The initial idea came from observing the renovation that was being done to the train stations up and down the mountains when I was traveling to and from university in the year 2000, just before the Olympics. And these train stations over there, sort of past however many years, I don't know, 100 years of use or something like that, had been painted many colours. And you could see these colours sort of being stripped and revealed as the men were using their sort of chemical peelers. And this was fascinating to me, You imagine how many people had leant on those walls, or how many people had touched those surfaces. And the paint was so thick that it had almost obscured the grout entirely between the bricks, which I thought was just fantastic, that you could put so many thin layers of paint on something that, eventually the detail is almost entirely gone. And I just loved the feeling of it, and the look of it, and the idea as well. And then from there, I just sort of worked on ways to embed more and more information in the work, and try and just really load everything in there that would give the sensation of that time and that place. Initially, I kind of wanted these works to operate as a sort of time capsule. And this was an idea I got after pulling up the carpet in my father's house. I discovered underneath the carpet that somebody had left the front page of a newspaper. And I'd heard of this before, actually, in wall cavities and things, sometimes the builders might drop a newspaper or something like that. It sort of just marks in a kind of humble way the beginning of a house, or when something was done. So I covered these paintings, the underpainting, I guess, in newspaper. So that became the sort of embedded sensation of time to start with. And from there I used mainly building materials, but also other things. I used kitchen paper, kitchen towel. I put that on the ceiling of my kitchen to collect oil and dust and dirt and things like that, and that went in the picture as well. I put cement on and then ground the cement back. I wanted to use construction materials for, once again, this sensation of architecture and its connection to those sorts of things.